Well, it's Pride Month, and a lot of Pride festivals, demonstrations, conventions, meetups, they're all happening this month. So it's only, I guess, appropriate that a lot of establishing franchises, mostly television shows, comic books, and maybe even some movies, decide to capitalize on that. Well, one show in particular that seems to be capitalizing on it, even though a lot of fans would feel it's overdue, is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Now, here's the thing though about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. They've always kind of been, I wouldn't say in the middle of the storm, or in the center of it, or in the focused portion of it, but anytime Pride slash LGBTQ would come up, and be associated with My Little Pony was because of certain characters like Rainbow Dash, or certain characters interacting with each other like Bon Bon and Lyra, or the fact that the way certain characters would have disagreements, arguments, or whatever. For instance, you look at the spin-off Equestria Girls and the Roller Coaster of Friendship special, you have Rarity and Applejack. But besides all that, and any other hints or scenarios, it was never really confirmed that LGBTQ slash same-sex couples existed in the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic world, or universe. That is until this came out. This is volume 3 of the ongoing, I think it's still ongoing, My Little Pony Ponyville Mysteries. And in this volume, it introduces us officially, or somewhat officially at the time, to the first LGBTQ couple in Scootaloo's aunts. Her aunts being named Aunt Holiday and Aunt Lofty. How this is confirmed is in chapter 4. You see, in that chapter, the aunts are not only revealed to be living with each other and Scootaloo be living with them, but you have a line here where I think it's Aunt Holiday that comes into the room, kisses Lofty on the head, tells her to let her make Scootaloo, tells her, that being Lofty, to let her, Holiday, make Scootaloo some breakfast, and she calls her dear. Now, some might interpret that maybe as, they're just sisters, they're living together, and that's probably how they greet each other, right? You could interpret it like that, but not really. In fact, there's an article that came out that these same characters who are going to be making their visual on-screen animated debut this Saturday in the episode Last Crusade, it's pretty much confirmed that they are a same-sex couple. They are an LGBTQ slash same-sex couple, basically aka lesbians. But why is this such a big deal? Well, in a sense, it's not really a big deal, but when this came out, it did get a bit of media attention. It did get people around social media, and I think even some news outlets talking about the fact that, hey, My Little Pony, one of its spin-off medias, had introduced LGBTQ. Even though, since the beginning of the series, it's been pretty much confirmed, hinted at, and not so well hidden, that two characters, Lyra and Bon Bon, are pretty much LGBTQ. So, obviously it's not really a big deal if everybody pretty much already saw that with these two characters in Lyra and Bon Bon. But, despite Lyra and Bon Bon, and despite some other situations as well, it was never addressed. It was never officially brought up, mentioned, acknowledged, officialized, nothing. That is until you had the spin-off book series, Ponyville Mysteries. Now, has the staff behind Friendship is Magic and its spin-off show, Equestria Girls, denied any LGBTQ moments happening in both series? Not really, because there was no real reason to bring it up. That is until recently. One person that worked behind the scenes on the Equestria Girls special Roller Coaster of Friendship basically came out and said that the whole scenario between Rarity and Applejack, the Equestria Girl versions of them, was done in a way that everybody, not just fans, but even those that worked on the series, noticed as being not an argument between friends, but an argument between a couple. In other words, a couple that was in love with each other. And this person that helped work behind the scenes, said that the way it came off was basically kind of unintentional, and if not sometimes intentional. Basically, they said you can make of it what you will, but it was kind of, in a sense, almost unintentional that it came off that way. But when they look back on it, yeah, it seemed that maybe there was some intentional messing around when it came to how things were not only written, script-wise for the characters, but also visually seen. So yeah, they acknowledged that basically Roller Coaster and Friendship, even though it wasn't meant to be this way, unintentionally and maybe somewhat intentionally gave us a bit of Rarijack or Rarity X Applejack LGBTQ lesbian fuel. So that was the closest, and that was acknowledged by someone behind the scenes. But besides Equestria Girls, if you take that and you put that to the side, when it comes to the main series, Friendship is Magic, there was never real officialized indication that there was LGBTQ. That is, until not only Ponyville Mysteries, but this upcoming episode, Last Crusade, which did premiere early in Italy and other parts of the world, thanks to Hasbro having negotiations and deals to do so. So yeah, Last Crusade basically takes the characters known as Aunt Holiday and Aunt Lofty, I think that's the names they're still going to use, in the animated debut, and is bringing them visually on screen this Saturday to make their animation debut alongside, bit of spoilers, Scootaloo's parents. Now, I'm not going to say much of what role the ants are going to play, but it is pretty much been confirmed. Comic Beat has talked about it. I'm sure other places have talked about it. That yes, this Saturday, during Pride Month, ironically, they're going to introduce finally into the series the first official same-sex couple, LGBTQ/lesbian couple, this Saturday in Last Crusade. Which would, when one thinks about it, explain a lot about maybe Scootaloo. But I digress. But the point is, what is the reaction going to be? I mean, what is the reaction currently? I'm sure I'm not saying a lot of media outlets pay attention, but there are some people already reacting, some positive, some not so positive, at the fact that a franchise like Friendship is Magic, My Little Pony, is going this route. But when you think about it, you've had other shows go this route. You've had Adventure Time with their LGBTQ couple. You've had Steven Universe, for goodness sake. They were LGBTQ almost all over the place. And then you take the recent situation with PBS's animated series Arthur, which has been on for a long time, and one of the newest episodes decides to go the LGBTQ route by airing an episode where one, if not two, long-term characters, male that is, have a gay wedding. And was there some negative reaction to it? Mixed reaction, positive? A combination of all three? Yes. Yes, there was. Some of the negative reaction came from from states like Alabama and such, even to the point that a lot of the PBS stations there decided to, take that episode out of the rotation and act like it doesn't exist. Has there been some backlash because of it? Absolutely. But there's nothing you could really do. It was a decision made by the people behind the series that they felt the time was appropriate. And, we've come far enough since the series debuted that the time was right to go this route. Because I think they knew a lot of people that grew up with Arthur, even the kids that are growing up with him now, are smart enough to acknowledge, hey, these two male characters seem too chummy, too buddy, too close for our liking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was obviously the decision to finally say, you know what, let's just do it. And that's just, I think my neighbor's mowing in the background if you hear anything. But they just decided, you know what, obviously people were smart enough to see through what was going on and just decided, let's go. Let's take that next step. And obviously that's what the staff at My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is doing. They're taking that next step. Yes, is it ironic that it's happening during Pride Month? Absolutely. Is it ironic that it's happening in the last season? Somewhat. But I think that's the other thing that will kind of bail Hasbro out, if you will, and the people at AllSpark Animation out. The fact that it's being done to support Pride Month, but it's also being done because this is the last season. There's no doubt that if they would have tried to do this any other time in the previous seasons, they would have gotten some flack for it. There's no doubt. But since this is the last season, they decided, you know what, they're going to go all out, and that's what they're doing. They're bringing their A game when they need to. And obviously they're not going to regret the decisions. They're not. Now, is it going to get some backlash? Probably. But unlike PBS, I don't think Discovery Family is going to pull the episode. A lot of people are pretty much already going to be DVRing it, in my case, DVD recording it. So I don't think anybody's going to... so I don't think Discovery Family or Hasbro or AllSpark Animation is going to pull out of it. Or pull the episode out of the rotation, even if it gets some massive backlash. But I don't think it will, because pretty much it's established. It looks like it's established already in the episode that these two are already married. They're already together. So I don't think it's going to get the backlash that Arthur did, but it might get some feedback from both a positive, negative, and a mixed scenario. But again, you take a look at all the series that have come before. Come around the same time, have been aired around the same time. Steven Universe, Adventure Time, and many others. There's a lot of LGBTQ hints, if not right in front of your face moments between characters that you wouldn't think a show would cross the line and do, but they do. Now, here's the thing. Is this going to open the door for maybe them to officially, Hasbro and AllSpark Animation and the creative staff, to finally acknowledge Lyra and Bonbon being basically an LGBTQ couple? Probably. It basically helps out. It'll help that out. But if it doesn't, then hey, at least it's nice of the fact that despite how we all feel about it, and I will admit, I'm not trying to say this because I want to be mean or anything, but I will admit, I am not an LGBTQ/Pride supporter. I am not. I don't, I'm a Christian. So I was raised to not support that kind of lifestyle. But I can understand that if that's your choice, so be it. And if companies like Hasbro and AllSpark Animation and all of them want to support it in their own way, and by doing this episode and visually introducing Scootaloo's aunts, who are basically LGBTQ, if that's their way of supporting it, then so be it. That's their business. There are no doubt Christians and religious people out there that do support LGBTQ/Pride couples because, they said, there's an old saying that Jesus says to love one another no matter what. So, but I was raised basically not to support that because that's wrong. But again, we're in a time frame right now to where it's like, it's like basically nothing's off limits anymore. So, but anyway, yeah, this Saturday we're visually going to see the official first time debut of an LGBTQ couple in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And is it going to be newsworthy? Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see. But I know this video has gone on a little too longer than it should have, so I do apologize for that. But let me know what you guys think, though, about Scootaloo's aunts, Aunt Lofty and Holiday, making their visual animated debut this Saturday. Do you think it's a good move, finally, for Hasbro and Allspark to do this? Do you think it'll get any kind of media attention, negative, positive? What do you think the backlash, or positive? What do you think the positive and negative mixed backlash could be? And do you think they could have done, and do you think it would have gotten any kind of acknowledgement, maybe attention, had it been done during any other month of the year besides Pride Month? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.